So this was a day, football wasn't on, and so you had to have something to do.
That's every day on like a farm. It's like, what do you want to do? We've done our chores. What would you? There's 30 open projects we could work on.
What was your worst chore that you dreaded more than anything?
Anything where my hands got beat up or rough or dried out. Fencing is particularly hard. I don't know if you've ever driven steel fence posts with you use this fence post driver thing. You hold on each side. It goes over the top, sort of like it's hollow, and it goes over the post, and you bing, 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 driving it. That's very hard work if the ground is hard, and it is here. It's hard, compressed red clay.
Mm-hmm.
That's really hard work.
I helped my grandpa take a fence down like 2 weeks ago when me and my brothers went down there. It was this old fence that was like probably 500 yards, like long and whatnot, and it had wire and everything. And I didn't fully the way you do that is, you go through, you unhook the wires and everything. Then one person goes and you take these were like just metal posts for an electric fence that was previously keeping cattle in, and you just get those metal sticks, the posts, and you bend them back and forth until they'll come out, and you pull them out. And we had a tractor.
That's how I do it. We use a tractor and we have a 3-inch wide nylon rope, and we just wrap it around it so it self-tightens.
Chain will do the same.
Only a couple of them were so bad that we needed to use the tractor, but the tractor was mostly like my brother was driving it next to me, and so I was going and just picking up the metal pieces and throwing it into the tractor bale or collector, whatever. But I was in the job where, if you've ever spun up an old wire, like an electrified wire, there's a little apparatus that you fold out and then stick in the ground, and then you start it by wrapping it on these 4 spokes, and then you just turn and crank it. And of course it's right next to the ground. And so I was in the worst back position for an hour doing it. And I remember getting probably, because I didn't look to see how long the fence was, but after 25 minutes of just there's no crank on it, so you're just physically spinning it like this with your hands. I was like, this is awful. Being a farmer would suck. My God, Grandpa, how did you do this for so long? This is the easiest part of farming. And
wait,
sucks.
You gotta turn it on, son. It's rah, 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 rah. It just loads up. I've had some moments like that. We try to hire people that didn't know what they were doing. And they'd be doing something ass backwards. Digging holes is hard.
I would have thought that the tractor could press the steel in, right?
It can.
So I'm not talking about a 4x4 wooden fence post. That can be really hard to push in. But why not use the front end loader to just squish it in, easy peasy.
If the ground's not too hard, you absolutely do that. It's if this is the front end loader, you come back on the back part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you use the lip, then it could slip off and you get this really scary wow thing, and you get hurt. Because we're compressing and building up this tension down here, and then the bucket can suddenly drop by 1.5 feet and kill you. So you use the back of it, and you can absolutely mash them down into the ground like that if it's wet, if it's soft. But there's places where ding, 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 digging a hole, anything where you're wet and in a bad position as well. Plumbing can be particularly awful. I saw the Navy SEALs have this new fucking craft. It can be a sub. First of all, you're sitting in it. It looks like an amusement park ride. You know what I mean? It kind of comes up to your waist, and you're sticking out the top. If you search Navy SEAL personal submersible, you might find it. There's 6 or 8 guys in this thing, and it can turn into a full submarine, but they're in there with scuba on, just blah, 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 looking at each other as they cruise under the water. But it can also be partially submerged, or it can be on the water. I think that I don't know what it comes out of, but it's a landing craft or a traveling craft for SEALs.
A SEAL delivery vehicle. Oh, my link isn't going to work, but that's what I wanted to see.
I think that's it. That looks similar to what I saw. When I saw it, there were 6 guys in it, and they were showing it from the side. So it
kind of looks shitty.
What are you talking about?
It doesn't. Maybe I'm not getting the full picture.
What does it get me?
No,
that,
there's the full picture.
A little handheld propeller that scuba divers have.
Yeah, you hold on.
Does that make sense? Yeah, Taylor, you've seen it. Yeah, it's a little propeller. Man, maybe you're right.
Yeah, but if they're looking for range, they'd probably want a real submarine.
Well, it comes out of a real submarine. So we're all in our real submarine, like hidden under the water, and we're like, all right, we're gonna send the boys in, get them in the little sub, and then they inject them into the water, and it comes up, and then now we're like cruising in our stealthy. I bet it's quiet and has range and stuff.
Yeah. Or
I bet.
Yeah, it's probably
It
neat.
must feel so good to be a Navy SEAL and be like, they just spent a stupid amount of money to get me into this place.
Yeah,
Like,
and you don't have to shave.
Yeah. And then,
Oh, that's a big plus. I could never make it in the other branches. I look like a bitch of a Marine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that.
My dad had a friend who was really into it, and he was like into his 50s. He was like super into go-kart racing, and he would travel around and do it. And he was driving back from one of the races one night, and in the back of his truck, he had a bunch of his gear. He had a big can of racing fuel. He had like a battery and some terminals and stuff. And he was coming up to a red light, and he was going to run it because it was late at night. And he saw there was a cop coming up behind him, and the cop would have seen if he ran the red light. So he has to slam on the brakes right at that light. And the fuel and the battery and everything slides forward in the truck. It's a metal can of racing fuel. And so when the battery hits that and shorts out, it all explodes in the back of his truck. Now the back of the truck is on fire, like a big racing fuel fire. And the cop is right next to him. So he gets out to put the fire out, but he doesn't put the car in park. So the truck's rolling through the intersection on fire while he's beating the fire with his coat. And the cop the whole time is rolling beside him, watching, like awestruck, like what the
Is there a more serious crime taking place across town right now that they're trying to keep me off the scent of?
I like to think at the same time his daughter's doing a TikTok video with a kitchen fire, like having no idea what to do. And he just raised generations of idiocy.
Did you see Donald Trump's
cards? I thought you were going to say that was going to come through the back and his head off. I'm so glad that didn't turn into Final Destination.
No, that poor gentleman had a heart attack around 55 years old. Real nice guy. He was a real gun nut.
6 years ago.
I got had a bunker
for Kyle to be like, this guy was a real gun.
He had guns for arms.
He was such a nice, he had like 3 subjects he would discuss: diesel mechanic work, because that's what he did. He made a really good hourly wage, and he took all that money that he made being a diesel mechanic, and he put that into guns and go-karts. Those were his other 2 passions. It was nothing but guns, go-karts, and diesels. And so like he was, I don't know, maybe he was on the spectrum. Like we just thought he was a little off, but he just kind of show up and just awkwardly just walk up to your, like he'd pull up to the house and like now he's here. like there wasn't a big introduction. He just kind of came and like walked up and just joined the crowd of us standing there. And I don't mean like the 3 of us maybe that were there like working or doing or whatever in our yard, and just be like out of nowhere, "An AR-15 from Noveski, I tell you what that is. The way they're coating them parts, 100,000 rounds for you need a new action. It's just incredible stuff." That's so, Johnny. Yeah. It's just like he always had machine guns behind the seat of his car. It was always like, "You want to see my new MP5?" It was always something cool like that. Always cool shit. And when you called his house,
like a country dude.
Yeah, when you called his house, he always wanted to be in the military, but for some reason they wouldn't take him. When you called his house, his answering machine back when those existed said something like, "This is John. You missed me. I'm probably out tending to the booby traps and checking the perimeter. Leave a message. I'll report back shortly." And it was like
not even a joke.
And it was like, I don't know if this is a joke or not, but it is funny.
Yeah.
And I know that I will not go sneaking around John's place because there may or may not be booby traps. And if those don't get me, John's checking the perimeter.
You can imagine like this guy's son or something just getting a letter one day just saying he's after you, like, and he just goes and digs up his grave and it's full of grenades. It's just like whole Terminator story going for it.
He was the only guy I ever knew that hunted with like an AR-15. Like we always hunted with bolt action rifles. I mean, it has a magazine in it. I've got extra rounds I can reload.
Well, he spent all that money on it. He wants to use it.
No, he was He was out to kill. He wasn't hunting. He like when he's going hunting, he's just driving up to the field. There they are, and he's getting out and da.
He's hunting the other.
That's hilarious.
When I go hunting, I like put on my, I like put on a whole thing, and like I use special soap, and I climb up a goddamn tree, and I wait for hours. He just drives around till he sees them, gets out. Hey, motherfuckers!
This guy, man, that's
he's
awesome.
just doing it the lazy
guy
way.
sounds
He's
cool.
doing it the efficient way.
You know what the problem with nachos is? I've never
Yeah,
had
there's no good
Mexican-
distribution.
No, every time I get them from a Mexican restaurant, it's just like a lasagna. They've like made a Mexican lasagna. Like those chips are all soggy in there, and like just it's like a lasagna.
Here's my problem.
Well, I want to
Nacho
grab a
Grande.
chip with some stuff
Let me
on
lay
it.
this out. It feels like when they want to make the Nacho Grande bigger, they go taller. But that doesn't increase the amount of toppings you get. It just increases the amount of chips. The toppings is the whole point.
Yeah.
If you want to increase the size, you need to go wider with this thing. Then you'll actually have a meal that more people would want.
It's an interesting idea.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? What makes you not like it?
I just don't think I've ever had a good nacho ever.
This is
they're-
the Nacho
they're-
Grande with like the salsa and the really complex toppings on top, olives, and
I want some olives, some onions, tomatoes.
that's it. That's the
I mean,
stuff.
I'm
Just go wide with it. Don't
Yeah,
go.
throw
don't give me a foot of chips and then some topping. What kind of bullshit is that? You just I didn't need
Yes.
a cup of Tostitos.
Yes.
No, I want a fucking 36-inch pizza dish full of Nacho Grande. That is
This
how you
is-
increase the volume.
This is the strongest point you've ever made.
Look at that bullshit
look at that
right
trash.
there.
Look at you can't even begin to count the number of chips on the bottom that have nothing there. Nothing.
Dude, the whole center has nothing.
Is that supposed to be at a party?
This is a commercial. That's a screenshot from the commercial. They thought this looked good enough to be in a shot. I guarantee this isn't the nachos commercial. It's probably a beer commercial or something.
What the fuck is this commercial for? You must be 18 or older to enter.
Oh, then it's probably like a foreign booze commercial or a nicotine one. I don't fucking know.
Delaware, Hawaii. Okay, well, I don't know how.
But regardless,
the nachos clearly Taylor led us astray.
no
Was it?
nachos. Not. I think about if you put it in a big giant dish. And then you had someone dedicated, if you go to a nice place and you order nachos, they should have kind of a fucking, established rule of every piece gets a little meat and then a little thing and a little something else. Like, I don't care if it takes longer. I don't care if it costs a little more. Make sure
There's a
every
place that
piece
does
is
that.
even. Socialism among nachos.
You joke, but there's a place that does that.
Yeah, I'm not joking. It would be a great idea.
It's called Chili's.
Chili's does that?
Chili's nachos. They take a big chip and they make each chip a little tostada type thing where they like put the perfect amount of like refried beans and cheese and sour cream and everything. That's like every chip is loaded down. And then there's like 25 of them like on the plate. So you just like pick them up ready to go. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's a great move. I
That's
didn't
a
know
great
Chili's
move.
did anything.
They won't wear gloves no matter how much you ask, though. It's
Do they
disgusting.
finance? Because I'm
No, I'm
hungry.
kidding about that part. But yeah, it's like it's ready to go.
See, like that's not the amount of food I'm looking for, but it's
Right.
it's kind of like it's
wait,
a nice even distribution.
Do
Hang on,
they
Taylor.
think
I'm
that
sorry.
that's
I'm
to
sorry.
be shared?
Did you want more than that?
Yes, obviously.
That's
for
a
each of us.
dozen large nacho chips.
How big are these things?
That's not
Big.
large.
Are those slice of pizza size? Because if not, I'm going to need a little more.
Look at the drink in the background. Those aren't large. Those are tiny
Oh,
as fuck.
these are
That's
these
like
are
a
little,
pint.
this is what I get. This is what I get before my appetizer. Wet
It's a
my whistle.
fucking beer stein back there.
This is my
Oh.
pre-appetizer.
And I'd send this back to the kitchen. I'd be like, these aren't fresh jalapenos. Give me the ones with the seeds in them. Give me the ones with the
I
heat.
can see seeds. Look, those are good.
Where?
nachos.
I can see one fucking thing with seeds. No, two. I can see two with seeds.
How many seeds do you want?
I wouldn't mind if they sprinkled some in afterward. Because that, there's more spiciness in the jalapeno seeds.
I know there's more spiciness in the jalapeno seeds.
Well, what's wrong with my point then?
You didn't have a point. You're just randomly pontificating about fucking nachos at this point.
No, I did make a point. It's just it's so thorough you can't disprove it. So that the even distribution of nacho toppings would revolutionize the appetizer game. Think about it, because
What's your
now
favorite appetizer?
Oh, recently I've been on a huge potato skins kick. Every time I go out, I hope they have potato skins.
That's a healthy one.
Yeah, no.
I usually go with the shrimp cocktail. It is hard to be shameful after eating a shrimp cocktail, other than the fact that you just ate $24 worth of shrimp and you are not full at all.
Yeah, they are good though, and it's a nice little healthier pick.
Yeah, it's just shrimp, boiled shrimp, and like tomato sauce, essentially.
Yeah, very sugary tomato sauce, but I mean,
I don't think there's sugar in there, is there?
Oh, I don't know. I
cocktail
thought that
sauce?
cocktail sauce had more sugar than marinara.
I think it's got some sort of like spicy shit in there. I didn't think it had sugar. I don't care if it fucking does.
Either way, shrimp cocktail. That's a solid pick. That's one I like when I go to like a party or a get together and they have shrimp cocktail.
Yeah. I like that line in Ozark when he's like, "Enjoy the party. I spent $10,000 on crab alone."
I thought that was such a cool flex to me.
That was such a cool flex. The acting is so good. I'm sorry we're drifting back into Ozark, but in that moment I remember thinking like, I would have no appetite. There's no way I could eat a bite of food. I just picked brains out of my wife's hair. I might still die, but probably not. But I thought I was going to die like 10 minutes ago. I couldn't eat a bite of food. I'm not going to eat for all day. Tomorrow I might eat, maybe.
I would have.
I would tea.
I would have used that as an excuse where it's like, just you may as well die full.
What? You'd have been like, oh, believe me.
I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat
good stuff.
That brings a strong point. If I'm afraid I'm dying tonight, I'm not counting calories this afternoon. That's fucking ridiculous.
It's time for me to like try hard drugs.
You guys don't
you
guys don't lose your appetite when you're like in super stressful situations.
Super stressful situations. I want to eat more.
The night, like the night before I went to prison, I did not have an appetite.
No, dude. If I'm stressed, I just like ritually just keep eating and eating like as a stress
eating
relief.
And stress fasting are both things. I have definitely done the stress fasting thing before.
I've done the stress fasting thing, but it always goes like one day, and then the next day it's like, catching up and undoing all that. But yeah, my stress response is definitely more to like just sit and kind of eat and try and take my mind off it than sit there with no food, which would be a much healthier weight response.
I've been so stressed that I can't eat because I just feel nauseous all the time with stress.
I can always eat.
You're like,
I can, man. I can. I was going to like
imagine what that's like.
I went to like I obviously like besides the family split up and everything, so I had to go to like multiple Thanksgivings, Christmases, and everything. And like this year, like went to a Thanksgiving, or no, it was like a Christmas celebration, ate full meal, and then like immediately went to another one, and like some aunt there, it's my wife's side of the family, was like, "Oh, you have to eat something." I'm like, I just ate, and she's like, "We made a plate for you." It's like,
oh shit.
Well, I'm not gonna. It's etiquette. I have to eat all the toasted raviolis she put on that plate for me. Oh, some of these have cheese in them. You're not just doing pork meat. Oh,
dude,
yeah.
I get so tempted by that. I don't think I've ever had like a pre-dinner dinner, but sometimes it's like, man, dinner's not till 6, but I got the makings of dinner. Like I could reheat a chicken breast and I don't know, a potato, and then I wouldn't be hungry at all until dinner. I could do both.
and then you get to dinner and you're full of potato.
Probably would, but the pre-dinner dinner sounds. There's a point where like the cost of candy isn't what stops you from buying candy.
Yeah.
And it's weird to live there. Fuck.
There's a point, it's weird.
That's such a funny way to put it.
Yeah, that happens. And I guess I remember for some reason when I turned 16 and I had a car and money, I didn't immediately go candy shopping. Now that I think about it. Like there's this weird thing that happens between like 13 and 16 where like at 13 if you gave me a car We're going candy shopping. That might be top of the list.
That's probably number one.
When I was 10, I figured out that I could hop on the side of the train as it went by, and it took me to a 7-Eleven. And it was like, I'd like hear it coming, start running for the train, jump on the side. They have these ladders on the side. And I couldn't run as fast as the train could go, but I could run fast enough that I could grab the ladder as it goes by, like close the speed gap. And then you run, you hold the ladder. And then while it's not smooth, my memory of it is like suddenly you're gliding along the rails. You're no longer running on the ballast, which are these little rocks next to the train track. And it's like, fuck, little Woody jumped on that train and now he's on his way to buy candy. It's a glorious moment.
What was your candy?
A boxcar child just to go get some candy. That's my point.
Fuck, I forgot about the boxcar children.
At 16, I'm thinking like, let's see if I can get some pussy in this car somehow.
Yeah, and then candy later if there's time. I remember like when I first got my license, like I was the like opposite of you, not with candy. Like candy wasn't really, it's never been my thing, but like the ability to like, I remember like every day on the way to school, it was like just knowing like, because before that it was like, Dad, Mom, can we pull off? Can I get a soda? Can I get a snack? And he'd be like, no. But like then it was like, no, every day, guys. Like with my carpool, like I'm going getting my Diet Dr. Pepper. I'm gonna get my little bag of like peanuts or something, and it was great. It was just a fun little thing for like the first year of my license, just being like, I want a snack, and you'll get a snack. You'll get 3 if you want. And I would like, I just show up back home. Like I would just go drive for the sake of it. You know how it is being 16. So I just like go out and drive around, hit like 3 gas stations for no reason, just like in a big loop, and just come back with 6 mini bags of pepperoni pizza combos and a bunch of Arizona iced teas, which I thought were not bad for you at the time.
Because the can was attractive.
Yeah, no, because it had leaves on the can. So
you think of like herbal tea. You don't think of like, you think of something that's like some sort of like Chinese herbal medicinal tea.
And it was only $1, so cheaper than everything, and you got more liquid. So.
Arizona iced tea's cheaper.
Yeah, it was $1 years ago. I don't know what it is now. I haven't had one.
It's cheaper than water.
Yeah,
water's not as cheap as it should be. Individually bottled, like I can buy for like $4 24 of them, or for $3 one. Like what the or $1.50 one.
Yeah.
What? How is your math so off?
I remember.
I was. Oh, never mind.
No, do you remember those Arizona iced tea Arnold Palmers?
Yeah,
I order Arnold Palmers. That's my go-to restaurant drink now.
They're great.
Yeah,
I haven't had one in years, but I remember I haven't thought of it, but I was looking at Arizona iced tea to see if they were still $1, and I saw the Arnold Palmer one, which is, for people that don't know, that's half iced tea, half lemonade, which is a tremendous combination. It tastes great, and I can still remember like picking up like 5 24-ounce cans of those and like going home and playing whatever game. I probably COD 4 at the time, and like getting like ill while I was playing because I was drinking so much Arnold Palmer, and I was like, why do I feel sick? It must be something I ate last night. It can't be that. That's tea. That's tea. That's what all the Chinese drink.
One of my favorite drinks is to take it's like lemonade light or something. It's like 25 calories for 8 ounces, and mix that with unsweet tea and like sweetener and make like like Arnold Palmer's. I'll stick those in my water bottle and take it to the gym sometimes.
They're so good. Really I don't have any iced tea here or lemonade, so I'm 0 for 2.
So got lemons.
You keep saying iced tea. You're having unsweetened iced tea, right?
Yeah, it's unsweetened iced tea and lemonade.
Well, I buy it at the restaurant. They ask me, sweet or unsweet? It's like unsweet tea. That's the point. It tastes good like lemonade, but it has the calories of lemonade and water.
Pretty much, yeah, absolutely it does, and it's got some caffeine in it, so it's actually burning some calories.
You're making money on this thing.
Making money. They should advertise it that way. Like, sir, that Coca-Cola will add 175 calories. This espresso will subtract 8. I guess it's probably something like that.
I'll have you bouncing.
Wait, can I pivot and ask Kyle about a gun real quick?
Sure. I might have a good answer.
Well, I went to I got invited to go out with this this guy Taryn Butler, Taryn Tactical. Do you know that guy?
I might know him if I saw him, but I don't know his name. It doesn't jump.
He's like a dude who's one of those like he's like a champion like tactical shooter with the handguns, and he's won a lot of stuff, and he makes these guns that are like used in John Wick.
Okay.
And it ranges from like customized Glocks all the way up to, you know, for like 2,000, 2,500, all the way up to what do they call it? They call it a 2011, I believe. It's like an updated 1911.
Yeah.
Better. And they invited me out to shoot some of these things, and they're crazy expensive. They're like, you know, $8,000 to $10,000 for these handguns. But they felt really well made and really, really nice. And this guy was like fucking amazing at shooting them, obviously. Yeah. And I don't know. I just wanted to ask if you'd heard of them or knew anything about those guys. But.
Not them in particular, but like a $10,000 Glock sounds pretty wild. That's awfully expensive. Those 2011s, they look really nice. If I could still have guns, I'd be buying one of those. They're also in like the $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 range. I think there's like 3 or 4 different ones, like a Target model maybe, and like a couple of different versions. But
it seemed like the mechanics you could probably get for $5,000 or $6,000, and then the rest is the finishes and the crazy and great things.
It's like what, you know. What did they? What's left of the original Glock? I'd like to know that, right? Like. Yeah. All right, you started with a Glock, right? What did you replace? I just want to see the dollars pile up. I'm not saying that the Glock's not worth $8,000. I just need to see that money pile up somewhere because it's just a little chunk of aluminum and steel, right? Like what the fuck happened? Yeah. It's not a watch.
There's cars,
it's not
there's cars
like
that too. You know, there's cars where it's like, oh yeah, this is a 1948 Ford, but like. You're talking about the dash, you know, and a VIN number and nothing else really.
But like I'm thinking, like what does his company do? And again, I could be completely wrong about this, but I'm guessing they're making the slides and stippling. The
grips. Was called a Taran Tactical, TARAN, and I never met the guy. I didn't know anything about him. You know, someone just invited me to go shoot some cool guns, and I went down there and met the guy. And I don't know, you seem like the kind of person that would know about this shit. So.
If he's making the ones from the John Wick movies, then there may be a lot of cool factor to his guns that make people pay a bit more for them. Probably. Than I'm okay. Well, I'm looking at some of this stuff now.
He had one called the Pit Viper and the Sand Viper and a bunch of shit like that. Yeah, that's the Sand Viper. Yeah. It's okay. You know, it shoots really good, honestly. No fucking recoil, and you know, really, you know, you can feel the precision and nice grip, and you know, I don't know a lot about handguns, but you know, it shot good, so I don't know what to tell you.
I'm looking at that right now. That's I don't even know. This looks really cool. I would give him that much money for this because this doesn't look like. This doesn't look like a Glock to me. I don't know what I don't know what this even is.
No, that Sand Viper thing is the 2011. That's not the Glock. That's like a totally handmade thing.
I'm just going to scroll down to one of the Glocks. I mean, I see one that he's like, you know, some basic modifications on like stippling and magwell and extended mag and some other stuff, and it's like $800.
No,
I don't know. I don't know how you get to $8,000 on a Glock. But
no, I don't know if the Glocks
that
were
2011
that much. Glocks were a couple thousand. The high end Glocks were a couple thousand, and then it went up to 7, 8, 9, 10,000 for the crazy shit.
Yeah, if for those 2011s, I would definitely pay $5,000 to $10,000 for like a fancy.
That's cool. Yeah, that Pit Viper. I shot that. That thing shot great.
That looks real nice.
It shot really, really good.
That stippling looks like it's aggressive enough that like it's going to feel really good, while at the same time it's not going to hurt you. I would squeeze guns really hard, and if the stippling was too aggressive, it would not make me bleed.
It seemed like it would be good for sweaty hands.
Pivoted and made it past. I don't want anyone thinking out there I'm still squeezing guns.
That's cool. My dad's turning 70 next month, and I hope there's no crossover between this show and people who know my dad because it's a surprise. But I bought him a blunderbuss for his birthday.
That's awesome.
From the 1700s, from a company called Brabar of London, Brabar. Babar. I think it was Brabar, but it might be Babar. I gotta look, but it was like it's a fucking blunderbuss with a brass barrel, and it's really, really cool. I'm kind of stoked on it actually because he collects. He's got like crazy shotguns and shit. My dad, like, he's got all these Holland and Purdy and Ivo Fabry and these crazy shotguns. And I want.
Does it have the like weird classic blunderbuss like flared opening?
Hell yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it flares out.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's like a pirate gun from the 1700s. It's fucking rad.
Didn't they just like, if they didn't have ammo, you just like put nails, like just drop whatever metal you have in there and then shoot that at people? Is that right? Did I dream that?
Poured whatever you got in that bitch. Like,
yeah, it's really. It's just...
In a pinch, anything you throw down there is getting launched at the enemy. So
yeah, it's a flintlock deal, and pretty cool. Kind of stoked on that. That's all the gun content I have for this particular show. Sorry.
That's sick. The blunderbuss would be awesome.
I wait all year to talk about guns with you guys. That's all I got.
Can you imagine like a home defense situation? You have like a home defense situation, but all you have is a blunderbuss and like a handful of nuts and washers.
It's like a Guy Ritchie movie.
You just fire that right into him. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, a Guy Ritchie movie. It's a really long, uncut scene.
Yeah.
You doing it.
Yeah, that scene in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels when they're like,
that's what I was thinking.
That's a really
at, like
cool
what
scene.
Everybody's armed with, and they just got like the shittiest like thrown together weaponry, and they're like, "What is that?" It's me, Bren gun. Bren gun. What the fuck? I love those movies. I wish, and I haven't seen The Gentleman.
The Gentleman was good. I like The Gentleman. Yeah.
I keep meaning to see it.
It didn't do well, but it's totally entertaining. It's absolutely worth watching, like on a plane or something. And like great use of your 2 hours.
I got to meet Guy Ritchie for a little bit, and he was a really, really cool guy and really nice guy. And I'm a huge fan of Snatch. It seemed for a minute, it seemed like he might be the like the British Quentin Tarantino. Yes, Woody likes pussy. Vagina.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is my humor too lowbrow?
Snatch. They called it sniz in my day.
I like poontang. Hey, Kyle, tell us how much you like Snatch.
You ever see Guy Ritchie's BMW commercials? Oh my God, some of the best car commercials ever made.
I don't think so.
They're still available on YouTube. He did a series of them in the 90s, and they are fucking awesome. I mean, probably top 10 car commercials ever made. 4 or 5 of them are Guy Ritchie's car.
Did he discover Jason Statham? Did Jason Statham?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Vinny Jones.
Okay.
Jason Statham and Vinny Jones. Yeah. He was on that shit.
Statham
and that whoever that guy was who played Bricktop, because I never seen that guy.
Oh, I love Bricktop. What I would have like he's such a good character actor there that you just want to see 2 more movies kind of in that universe where he's part of it or something. He's just such a foul
I could use just a Bricktop movie, frankly. Yeah. He could have his own fucking movie. I just went to some crazy this chick I know wrote a book about baby names, actually, interestingly enough, and had a book signing launch, whatever party. And it was at this house in the Palisades, and the Palisades in LA is fucking hoity-toity ass rich area. Every house is $10 million. And this house was on the water, on the cliff above the water. And as we get to this house, I go, they doing pony rides or something in this bitch, like for kids? Because I smelled a farm.
Yeah.
And when we got there, this fucking lady who owns this house had 2 300-pound pigs in her front yard that were pets. They weren't there temporarily. They were permanent residents.
Did you pet them? Did you hang out with the pigs?
They were super friendly. They were enormous, and they lived there full time. And the the houses here don't have land around them. They're not. Like, we're talking about within Los Angeles in a very rich area.
The area where they were, how did they?
Like there was hay, and a couple dozen rabbits also lived there too. With the pigs in the same shit.
What are they feeding those pigs?
People.
Fuck if I know. I didn't stick around that long. But
I know a guy out
of
Texas.
Two gigantic ass pigs and a not very big.
It's all a front
yard.
Those things are omnivorous. Those things are omnivorous. Yeah. So like that guy out in Texas, like we went out and shot a rabbit and took the rabbit back and gave it to the pig, and the pig and the wolf each got it in and ripped it apart. And each ate their half.
The pig and the wolf. This is like a like a fable.
He had a pet wolf. Yeah, a pet wolf and he had a pet wild boar. And like
and they live together. Like okay,
yeah. They're like they're not like regular pets that like lovey-dovey like rub the wolf. Like you just got to know that the dog was like
Confucius.
The dog was like high 90% wolf. Like it's mostly wolf. I don't know that it's legal outside of that part of Texas. And the wild boar, even you're not supposed to keep those things pets. But anyway,
I don't think so.
he's on 80,000 acres. So I don't think anybody's going to complain.
No, dude, this was on like a quarter acre, and 90% of it was taken up by house. This was not a fucking yard.
That's foul. I'd poison those cocksuckers.
600 pounds of pigs, and there's other people that live near you.
Imagine you save up your whole life. You're not Michael Bay. You're not fucking what, some Hollywood producer that's got 8 of these homes.
This house is your pride and joy.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the culmination of a life's work. You're 82. You're going to live here for the next 3 to 5 and enjoy it. God damn it.
I'm in my new house right now. My wife and I moved a couple months ago, and we spent 2 years renovating this house. And it's fucking gorgeous. It's awesome. Everything's great about it, right? But we have 4 bathrooms in this house. We're living highly luxuriously in this house. 4 bathrooms for 2 people. One of the bathrooms, our guest bathroom, main guest bathroom. There's just the toilet clogs much easier than a toilet should clog.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The first time the toilet clogged, it was like, wow, better chill out on the fucking Charmin Ultra, and then we've fucking, taken, and it repeatedly clogged in ways that are not good. Well, today we finally had the big thing. We're going to fucking snake and descale this because we didn't build the house. We renovated a house from the 60s. So new on top, old on the bottom. And so today the plumber came and removed the toilet from its fucking stanchion or whatever you call it, and calls me in after about an hour, and he goes, "You're not gonna believe this," and that's not some shit you want to hear.
Here's another $12,000 check.
You're not gonna believe this. There's no problem, and I'm gonna give you some money. Well,
I don't believe it. A truckload of wet dirt down there. And he goes, "Here's what I found down there," and holds up about a handful of about 6 blue construction grade rags. And I'm like, motherfucker. And then he calls me about a half hour later and he goes, "You're not going to believe what I found now." And I was like, "What?" "About 6 more." So apparently while our house was under construction, there was an exposed pipe and they capped it by fucking shoving rags in there. and then nobody took them motherfuckers out.
For 60 years.
So they've been, who knows, maybe, but
those are good rags. You should keep them.
Right?
They're high. They don't make them like that anymore.
What is the brand of those rags?
You should keep rags. So
that's like one of those things where like when you see something really old, was any part of you like, man, this is a pain in the ass, but at least the people who did this are long dead. Like part of you thinking that, like, oh, these fuckers.
No, I was like, man, this is a pain in the ass, but at least it's not my shitting and wiping habits causing this problem. I mean, that's really what I thought. At least it's something that was outside of the control of my colon.
Yeah,
I like that they found the actual cause. Right, I hate when it's like, we're not sure what did it. We're gonna button it all back together and hope it stops. That's
right?
bad.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that
they
was the
don't
last
do that in
3
the
visits.
surgery.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine got fired from his job for doing a cannonball racing.
Oh yeah.
He and another guy had set like a C to C to C record, like a New York to LA back to New York. And I can't remember, it was like Road and Track or GQ or somebody did an article on it. And same thing, his bosses came in, they were like, hey, this is not the kind of, personality we wanted this company, and they fired him over it. But
it'd be one thing if it was like automotive related or his driver's license there, like if he's a CDL guy or something, but like, if he's just Dave in the boardroom, like, well, that's kind of fucky. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crappy, and I don't know how they worked it out, but I'm self-employed, so I get hired and fired on a daily basis. But yeah, it's
fair enough.
that was one of those few things that it came up. And again, Cannonball has been going on since 1971. There's never been an accident. Nobody's ever been hurt, but it's just it basically is the world's largest illegal road race, and a lot of companies, they don't, you are in effect admitting to allegedly admitted breaking the law, and companies don't like that. He's the only one I know that's gotten canned, but I know it's made it hard for some people. But
yeah,
no one's ever gotten hurt. So it's like the world's safest illegal race.
It is the world's safest motorsport. But and it's something everybody's very focused. We have a saying, like, don't break the law when you're breaking the law. Everybody's sober, nobody's doing drugs. You're driving fast, but you are, the driver is 100% focused. You've got a spotter who is, watching on ramps, calling traffic, looking for cars, monitoring, waves. You got a sleeper in the back. Everybody's rotating. Everybody's fresh. The radio's not on. We're not telling stories. We are 100% focused. And, we slow it down. You get near traffic, you back it off. We speed up in open spots. But, yeah.
I'm next after you.
How much slower is the motorcycle record? Like, I would think that it's
slower.
Exhausting. Oh, I bet it's slower.
The
fuel tank is tiny and
fuel. Okay.
Yeah, a guy just set another record.
That,
he actually beat me to it.
Saddlebags full of fuel.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to hit up Harley Davidson because somebody had done it on a sport bike, a Yamaha or something like that. I was going to hit up Harley Davidson mainly to see if they give me another motorcycle, and I was going to go set it. But now the Cannonball record itself is Red Ball Garage to the Portofino Inn. But this guy did like a Jacksonville to San Diego kind of cross country record. He did it it was like 29 hours, 32 hours, something like that. I mean, it's kind of a toss up. I mean, I ride motorcycles. I go fast on motorcycles. You can weave in and out of traffic on a bike, but when you're going a really, really long distance, what is going to really keep you fresh, keep you going, is being comfortable. Not, the wind noise, the head buffeting, the general attention level required on a motorcycle, not to mention, you're not able to sip a drink, eat your beef jerky. I mean, you were in it. So you're going to tire out sooner on a motorcycle, even though it is faster. I know like the car record right now from like Prudhoe Bay to Key West, I think is 82 hours. The motorcycle record is like 78 hours, I believe. So you are able to shave some time off, but psychologically speaking, you're going to get worn down on a bike just from the noise. Same thing even with the cars. I have people contact me all the time. Oh, yeah, me and my brother are building a whatever. We're building a triple turbo Supra that's got 3,000 horsepower. We got a 69 Camaro with a 671 blower and a roll cage. We're going to go break the Cannonball record. I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to get tired. You're going to overheat it. You're going to wear out. Like the guys, Doug and Arnie, my friends that do have the Cannonball record, it's a big German 4-door. It's quiet. It's smooth. Like you got to keep your brain fresh, not just your body. And all those noises, all that steering input, all that, everything you got to do, every little micro decision you make is wearing your energy down. And when you got to be awake and alert for that long, sure.
So 3-man, 4-man team doing this thing in your big car. How much driving skill does somebody really need to do this thing? Like, let's say that I really wanted to do it and I convinced Ed to like sneak me into one of these groups. I wouldn't because I'm a felon. But what could I do it? Like, would you be worried about me? He was like, that Kyle guy, he's never driven anything on the track. Is he going to be able to drive through Texas? Like, is it a concern or?
Yes, it is actually. And I don't mean to sound like an elitist. And I, most of my driving has been endurance driving, like distances around the world, other countries, that kind of stuff. I haven't done that much time driving myself. I mean, half dozen or so of these, but It kind of does. And again, I'm not trying to sound like an elitist, but like you need a really, really honed ability to read traffic, to anticipate what people are going to do, to be constantly aware of that car, whether you can feel a tire that's going low on pressure, whether you've got a shimmy that might be a loose bushing or a tie rod somewhere. If something were to go wrong, you need to be able to like immediately make a purposeful decision and carry it out to be able to recover that car. You know, again, does it take a lot of skill to drive fast in the left lane with nobody in front of you? No. Anybody can get out there and mat it and drive 120 as long as the road's clear. But you have to be able to like drive the 15 cars in front of you at all time, see what stimulus is coming at them. Are they going to change lanes soon? Did they just get on? Or where is that driver's head looking? How long have they been in that lane? What is my time to distance? How close am I going to close that gap? Like there's a lot going on. And for people who have done racing, you know, there's just a lot of awareness about the car and the physics and time to distance and closing those gaps. That not that you couldn't do it. I mean, lots of people have come on that have not had that much experience and done great. But like, as
better
a group,
if you had that experience anyway.
It's better to have that experience. And again, I mean, I am not the one to be speaking for Cannonball. I've gotten to do it. I'm very fortunate to participate in it. There's a lot of people, especially Ed, Doug, Arnie, a lot of these guys are way more experienced and qualified to be talking about this than me. But, you know, all the other races, the Southern Classic, the Alabama Hammer, some of these other regional races that go on, you know, you kind of got to be vetted into it because we are all very conscious of that safety record. Because if somebody goes out and they're smoking weed or they're getting drunk or they're too emotional in it or like they just, oh, that guy cut me off, I'm going to pass him and make a point or I got to beat this record.
Not the time for that.
Exactly. Like if you're going to drive,
you know what? I'm going to pull over and whoop his ass, guys. Hang on a minute.
That's not your thing. I mean, exactly. Like you got to detach all emotion from it and not make those decisions. I was doing a run one time and I blew past a guy and, you know, and again, it was a safe pass. It wasn't anything crazy, but I guess he took offense to that. You know, guy speeds up and suddenly he's next to me. We're going 120 miles an hour through Alabama. I look, he's got his wife and his kids in the car and he's looking at me like, oh, you're not going to pass me. And I just backed off and I probably lost, 8 minutes off my time that day. But like none of this is worth getting hurt. As soon as anybody gets hurt, the party is over. The cops are looking for us. It's going to get demonized. Like we all take the safety thing.
What if you had that little cooler that said organ transport? You could flash them out the window, right? Like,
all right, that cooler has worked for several friends of mine, and that is a very, very valid technique. But now this guy was just some regular family guy that just had he just, I guess, didn't want his ego bruised by somebody passing him in a Cadillac. He's going 90. I go past him at 120. I look over, he's next to me at 120. He's got his family in the car. So I just backed off and let him have it because like there's no, like you can't get involved with the civilians. It's just not worth it. So we all take the safety very seriously. Nobody takes any risk and we can't let people out there that are gonna drive like that or get in some mess or get in some tangle because one big crash and this is all over. So we do. I guess what I was everybody is, can't do it.
Is there? I guess I was thinking like I wonder if there's just a journalist who's like, yeah, I can go, and like an automotive journalist or something who just jumps in the car and it's his first time doing any sort of like racing. I guess is a Cannonball run. I don't know. That almost sounds fun. That's what we should do, guys. Let's do a Cannonball run, the three of us, with no practice or really study.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Cannonball Run is open.
Zach will come. It'll be great.
I mean, Cannonball Run is open to anybody.
Yeah.
But, Ed has a saying that, you don't have to have a good time to have a great time. Meaning that, like, nobody really cares what your actual time is. There are records out there that, no offense, you're not going to beat those records. Like, you're just not. I'm not going to beat them. You're not going to beat them. So go out there, have a good time with your friends. Drive as fast as is necessary, and people are watching you. They're watching you on Glimpse. We have apps we can track each other. And if you show up new and you're out there blowing through towns and going super fast, like you're not going to get invited back. Like the fun part is just the friendships and all of us doing it together. Whether you were in last place or first place, nobody cares. But it's doing it safely and, but yeah, go do one, man. If you want to do it.
How many people have been like blackballed from the race for being really like borderline dangerous, like flying through, I guess, residential areas at 100?
There have been a few, and not that people don't love these people individually as friends, but like they don't get asked back, and it's just a safety thing, and it's not personal, but it's just, we all want this to continue. In order for it to continue, we got to keep that safety record. And
that's what I was going to say. I'm a track record.
Absolutely. And again, I'm kind of speaking for some of the founding fathers of Cannonball. And I mean, I've done it. I'm excited to be a part of it. These are my friends and my people. But, I'm not the one qualified to really be speaking about this. But yeah, we want to keep that safety record. We want the party to continue, and we don't want anybody messing that up. And unfortunately, if it's a more personal thing for you, or if you're that obsessed for winning, take it to a track. This is more about endurance and just pushing yourself, not pushing the car. And you really don't have to go that fast.
It's hard to reconcile that with the fact that it's a race. And the guy who won that race really was trying to win. Like, you can't win without trying. It's not like you're all out there jogging and one guy just happened to be first.
Well, true. I mean, people do try to win, but it's like you try to win, but you always err on the side of caution. Like, you're not going to cut off that bus full of orphans. You're not going to blow blind through a red light. You're not going to, pass somebody in the bonus lane and startle them and run them off the road.
Where's the bonus lane? The shoulder?
The shoulder. It can
be
like
pass on the shoulder. That was I've been having that question.
We don't do that. No, we do not do that. Some people have done that, and they did not get asked back to some events because of that. Like, that was over the line. So yes, keep it in a regular lane. And again, I'm not the one that should be. I have not achieved a place in cannonballing where I should be throwing out any rules. I'm just repeating the rules as they are kind of dictated to me.
Sure.
You know how Guinness is? Like, occasionally there'll be a record. It's like, most times a chicken pecked your hand while you did the twist. It's like, man, y'all just made up that record for that one guy who does a silly thing. Are there Cannonball run records? Obviously, there's different divisions, like for the different motor vehicles, but like, I wonder how many there are. Like, is there one for a Volkswagen Beetle? Is there one for a Volkswagen Beetle older than 78? Is there one for Deuce and a Half? Deuce and a Half would be so fun.
That Deuce and a Half. You either have or have not been in a Deuce and a Half debate. Yeah, there are different versions of it, but this was we had a kind of a reunion last year, and this was a topic up for discussion. I mean, there was a diesel record, there was an EV record, there was an all-female record, there was a motorcycle record, there was the, bus record. I mean, and yes, there is a minutia for all these different records, but the only ones that are really recognized are just time, just however you got there.
What's the RV record? Because that's the one to fucking take down.
RV record, I think John Ficarra's got that one, but my buddy Fred Timmons is looking at attacking that one. I don't know on the RV record, to be honest with you.
All right, I would do that one. That seems like fun.
It's got to be in the 40, 50 hours.
I wonder how he has the fuel for it. Like, it seemed like an important part of the RV record is having 1,500 gallons of fuel or something crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because fuel stops will bring your average down. I mean, me and a buddy of mine did the Southern Classic, which is from Smoking to Bandit. We start in Atlanta, go to Texarkana, back to Atlanta. And we had a really, really good time, but we also had like an 11-gallon fuel stop. So we ended up just losing so much time. And when you think about the averages, like just slowing down, getting off, getting gas, getting back in, back on the road again, those little times knock your time down by 30%.
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference. I mean, there's the only records that really recognize. There's a solo record and there's the overall record. And the rest of them, whether you were on a rocket car or a pogo stick, however you get there, that's your record.
Have you heard of the Iron Butt, Christopher?
Oh yeah. I've got a couple of Iron Butts under my belt.
Oh, I have one, and I found the fuel stops.
Well, hang on, just be specific, because it's like, hey, I got a couple Stanley Cups. How many Iron Butts do you have?
Yeah. Well, no, I just mean like qualification certificates. I don't mean like winning events. I just mean like if you've driven like more than 1,000 miles in 24 hours, things like that.